Welcome to the Galapagos Islands. Welcome aboard the National Geographic Islander. We're going to have a trip of a lifetime. During this expedition, we're going to follow the footsteps of young Charles Darwin that arrived here in 1835. We'll be exploring the land. We will use our zodiacs to navigate in different waters, and we will go snorkeling to discover the underwater world that inhabits the Galapagos below the surface. Welcome to the Galapagos and to the National Geographic Islander 2 once again.
During the first 2 days of our expedition, we have been exploring Santa Cruz Island. The day our guests arrived, we went to explore the north side of Santa Cruz Island. We went exploring Black Turtle Cove, which is a mangrove ecosystem where we spotted several unique species to the area. In this mangrove lagoon, we found lots of sea turtles. Some of them were mating, some others were just resting on the surface, and some others were swimming around. In this area we find several species of mangroves, white mangrove and mostly red mangrove. This area provides an unique habitat and sheltered area for species like sharks, fish and turtles, where many times they come to lay their eggs, and the young spend their first years in this area until they are big enough to go out to the blue by themselves. Continuing with our expedition, we sailed all the way down to the south of Santa Cruz Island. We crossed the island exploring all the different vegetation zones, and we arrived to the Trapiche. In the Trapiche, we got to learn from Cabrera family firsthand what is the process for coffee from the coffee bean to the cup of coffee that we drink every day. We also learned what's the process for producing moonshine out of sugarcane juice. And we enjoyed the delicious frappuccino and cocoa that can be produced straight from the coffee beans that they have in their farm. In this place, our guests not only got to learn and try these different products, but also to learn more about how the first settlers lived in the Galapagos, even before electricity was available.
Okay, thank you friends for coming to the Galapagos Island. This is the official welcome to the highlands of Santa Cruz. And please repeat after me. Arriba. Arriba. Abajo. Abajo. Al centro. Al centro. Y adentro. Oof, and you have to...
Salud!
Salud! Excellent. Very hard. Excellent. Yes, like
We continued exploring the highlands of Santa Cruz Island, and we went into our own cloud forest. The Escalesia forest. We are very lucky to be exploring this area, as this is the last 1% remaining of what the forest used to be. The Escalesia is considered a giant dandelion. It's family of the sunflower. It's an Asteraceae plant. We went around the pit craters, which are sinkholes, basically empty magma chambers, which its top or ceiling collapsed long time ago. Along the species we observed today on the pit craters, we saw 3 finches, warbler finches, and Galapagos doves. We have arrived to El Manzanillo Ranch, where we came to see these giant tortoises. In Santa Cruz, we can find one of the largest dome-type tortoises in the Galapagos. Giant tortoises are known for living a very long life. It is estimated that they can live up to 200 years. And in this place, many times we get to see more males than females, because the females usually go lowlands to lay their eggs during the reproductive season. Giant tortoises gather at the highlands of Santa Cruz, looking especially for water, which they use as drinking water and also to help them regulate their body temperature, as these are ectothermic animals. After spending the day exploring Santa Cruz and seeing the giant tortoises, which are an emblematic animal of the Galapagos, we continue our expedition looking for more wildlife.
Today we're visiting North Seymour Island. We went out on a pre-breakfast outing to explore the wilderness on this small island in the Galapagos. North Seymour is about 1.7 square kilometers and it's full of life. When it comes to breeding season for frigates in Galapagos, this is one of the islands that our guests must visit. Along the year, we got males with the gular pouches inflated, and we got extremely lucky to experience truly a National Geographic moment when a male sitting on a branch had a female come down to check him out and potentially choose him as a partner for the season. In many parts of the world, we need to use binoculars to see the wildlife. Here, we need to watch our step, because the wildlife is right in the middle of the trail. On this time of the year, there is an opportunity to find adult blue-footed boobies coming back from their fishing outings to feed their chicks. We've spotted a couple of adult boobies trying to feed their chicks, and as they regurgitate some fish back to the chicks, all the frigates who scatter around them trying to steal the fish. These are known as pirates of the sky. Land iguanas are endemic to the Galapagos Islands, and they're found on 6 different islands of this archipelago. This morning we encounter a few males and females. Males will have a much larger crest behind the head. Females, a smaller crest, but both actually are located on the trail on this time of the day. This is an incredible opportunity to have a small taste of the wilderness of the Galapagos, and we have an incredible amount of days to come ahead where we can see this truly magic of the enchanted archipelago.
day of expedition is coming to an end, and for that we are on the island of Rabida, which is this incredible red coloration on the rock and the sand. At this time of the year, especially September, October, is when we see the male sea lions very active. They set up their territories and they control that. And also, the females are giving birth. So we see these little babies that are just right there waiting for their mothers to come feed them. One of the highlights of Rabida Island is a small colony of flamingos. They are not very numerous in the Galapagos, and we have the chance to see them right here. And in this brackish water lagoon, they find their food in these places, which is mainly a shrimp that contains a high proportion of beta-carotene. That's why they look pink. And sometimes they just explore other islands, for the same purpose. And they migrate from one island to island, and they have a lot of power on their wings, so they can fly, and that's amazing.
Today we are exploring the western side of the Galapagos Islands. We are at Punta Vicente Roca, which is one of my favorite places. We went exploring and we have seen an enormous number of different animals. We have seen marine iguanas grazing algae from the rocks. We've seen countless sea turtles, flightless cormorants, sea lions, blue-footed boobies, and a very large flock of brown-noded terns as well. We're lucky enough to find 12 penguins all swimming together and fishing together, juveniles and adults. What a wonderful sighting.
Penguins, turtles, cormorants, fish, lava. Oh my. Wonderful place to be. Can't wait to get into the water and swim with the turtles.
We are in Fernandina today. This is the youngest island in the Galapagos archipelago. We're traveling back in time to learn and appreciate the little details on every island before human impact. Marine iguanas are one of the most iconic species of this archipelago. We saw hundreds of them basking under the sun, some of them coming out from their feeding outings, others desalinating, sneezing their salt out through their nostrils. When Darwin came to these archipelago, he called them imps of darkness. They're truly one of the best examples of evolution by natural selection. They're pretty well adapted to this environment, and they have survived many natural events to the point where the numbers are doing okay on Fernandina. This is an incredible place for our visitors, our guests, to get to experience one of the most pristine islands among the tropics. We also found pioneer species like lava cactus. They only grow within the youngest sites of the Galapagos. A pair of sea lions, mom and pup, coming out of the water. And of course, the light was one of the highlights of this afternoon. The golden light, that magical time for photography where we get to underexpose and get beautiful silhouettes with the golden light behind them.
Don Johansson, the man who discovered Lucy way back in 1974 in Ethiopia. The reason I love coming on these expeditions and having an opportunity to talk about my research, talk about Charles Darwin, is that people are thirsty for information about how humans got here. How did we evolve from far distant ancestors millions of years ago? How does that enrich our appreciation of our place in nature? And it seems that whenever I go on these trips, there are so many people who seem to be really rewarded by knowing much more about their origins.
We are ending this expedition visiting Santiago, the island that was the most visited by Darwin in 1835. Early in the morning we visited Espumilla Beach, one of the most pristine in the archipelago, home of sea turtles that come here for nesting. Although we didn't see any sea turtle on the beach, we found many nesting areas and some eggs that were dragged by the currents to the beach, to the ocean. The most predominant vegetation that we have along the shore are mangroves. It's very common to see the brown mangrove or bottom. The bottom mangrove can be seen along this area and is used by the pelicans, and Galapagos hawks can be seen here on Espumilla. This is a good ending. There is a great place to finish the expedition following the Darwin footprints.
It's my hope that more and more people will have an opportunity to come and see what unspoiled land like this looks like, and to take very responsibly our responsibility to preserve the natural world on this planet, the natural world in which we live today and from which we evolved.